Welcome to the deep dive. You've joined us for a plunge into some of history's, well, really enduring mysteries, and also some of those surprising facts that just make you go, huh.
Mm.
We've been looking through this really interesting narration exploring these kinds of questions.
Yeah, and our goal today really is just to share some of the big head scratchers from the past.
Exactly. Those intriguing details that, might just spark a bit more curiosity for you.
That's right. And going through this material, what really jumps out is just how much we don't know,
Right.
even about times and stories we think we're pretty familiar with. It's a good reminder, I think, that history isn't just answers,
It's questions, too.
a whole landscape of unanswered questions. Yeah,
Okay, so let's dive right in with the big one, Atlantis. Everyone's heard of Atlantis, right?
pretty much. Yeah, the
Yeah.
classic lost city.
And our source material reminds us Plato is the first person we know of who actually wrote about it.
hmm Describing this like incredibly powerful, advanced civilization.
That just disappeared.
Vanished beneath the waves in, what was it, a single day and night.
Yeah, just gone. Wild.
And you have to wonder, what was Plato doing there? Was he reporting something real, maybe a story passed down?
Or just making a point.
Exactly. Or was it, an allegory?
Yeah.
A way to talk about ideal societies, hubris, corruption,
Yeah.
all that. Why make it sound so, well, real if it was just an idea?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it hasn't gone away. The narration points out how people have suggested, like, tons of locations.
Oh, everywhere. The Mediterranean, the Caribbean, you name it.
It just shows how that story grabs you, doesn't it? Across time, across cultures.
It really does. And maybe that's because, well, this idea of a lost golden age or this fear of society collapsing,
It taps into something deep.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Something about maybe wanting a perfect past or just being anxious about losing everything. And look how it keeps popping up in books, movies.
Still going strong. No conclusive evidence, though.
Not a shred. But the mystery itself is powerful.
Absolutely. A great example of how a question, even without an answer, keeps us hooked. Okay, let's shift gears. Something really weird now. The Voynich manuscript.
Ah, yes. That thing is baffling.
So it's this 240-page book, right? A codex.
Right, an early kind of book. And the thing is, it's written in this script.
That nobody recognizes.
Nobody. Looks like no known language.
Hmm.
And then the illustrations.
Tell me about them. The narration mentioned they were bizarre.
Bizarre doesn't even cover it. You've got plants that, well, they don't exist. Astronomical charts of who knows what cosmology. And these strange drawings of, like, naked people bathing in weird green goo.
Seriously, green goo.
That's what it looks like. It's just odd.
And it just showed up in the early 20th century.
Yep. And the source stresses we have no idea who wrote it.
Or what language it's in, or why.
Nothing. Decades of work. The best cryptographers, code breakers. Zip. Nata.
Wow.
It really makes you think, we assume writing has meaning we can unlock.
But maybe not this time.
Maybe not. Is it a super elaborate hoax from the Middle Ages? A lost language? Something else entirely.
Like what?
Who knows? Maybe symbolic, maybe something we just don't have the context for anymore. Each theory just adds to the mystery, really.
It's just incredible that something so, well, substantial could just sit there, defying everyone. Okay, from mysterious writing to maybe mysterious behavior. The dancing plague of 1518.
Oh, that one. Strasbourg, right. July 1518. Truly one of history's stranger moments.
It sounds almost unbelievable. People just started dancing.
Uncontrollable, yeah. In the streets. The narration says it started with a few dozen, but then it just spread.
The hundreds.
Hundreds of people dancing for days on end, apparently nonstop.
And the source mentioned people actually died.
Tragically, yes. Some reportedly died from sheer exhaustion, heart attack, stroke, just dancing themselves to death. It's a really disturbing picture.
Definitely unsettling. So what do historians think happened?
Well, that's the debate, isn't it? The source mentions a few possibilities. Mass hysteria or mass psychogenic illness is a big one.
Like a shared delusion?
Kind of, yeah. Then there's ergot poisoning.
What's that again?
It's a fungus that can grow on damp rye bread.
Hmm.
It can cause hallucinations, convulsions, maybe uncontrollable movements.
Plausible.
It's a theory. Or maybe some kind of extreme religious trance or ecstasy. We just don't know for sure.
It really shows how weird collective human behavior can get, especially maybe in tough times.
Absolutely. It challenges our neat little explanations sometimes. A reminder that the past can be deeply strange.
Okay, let's turn to a place, a legendary place, really, but one that's lost to us. The Great Library of Alexandria.
Ah, yeah. Almost mythical status, hasn't it? the ancient world's greatest center of knowledge.
Founded in Egypt back in the 3rd century BCE, the narration says.
And the scale. It's hard to comprehend. Supposedly hundreds of thousands of scrolls.
On everything.
Pretty much everything known then.
Well,
Philosophy, astronomy, medicine, literature, mathematics. Just this incredible concentration of ancient learning.
But then it was destroyed.
Tragically, yes. Sometime between the 2nd and 4th centuries AD, it seems.
Yeah.
But the how is murky.
Right. The narration mentioned that. The exact circumstances are unclear.
Very unclear. Was it Julius Caesar's fire during his Alexandrian War? That's one popular story.
But not the only one.
No. Some blame later religious conflicts, maybe Christian or Muslim fanatics, depending on the period being blamed, or was it just neglect? A gradual decline over centuries, fires happened, funding dried up.
We just don't have a definitive smoking gun, so to speak.
Exactly. And the loss. Think about the loss.
It's staggering to consider, isn't it?
Utterly. How many texts from ancient civilizations vanished forever? Works of philosophy, science, plays we've never read.
Things that could have changed how we see history.
Could have changed everything, potentially. It's a real lesson in how fragile knowledge can be.
A sobering thought indeed. Right. Maybe let's lighten the mood a bit. The source also had some fascinating little facts that might surprise people.
Oh yeah, those were fun. Good Mythbusters in there too.
Okay, first one. Napoleon. Everyone knows he was short, right?
The classic image. But nope,
Not true.
largely a myth, according to the narration. Mostly thanks to British wartime propaganda.
Seriously, they just made it up.
Well, they exaggerated. He was apparently around 5'7", which back then,
It's actually average.
pretty much average height for a European man of his time. Not the tiny tyrant of the caricatures.
Shows you how effective propaganda can be, even centuries later. Okay, next one really messes with your sense of time. Cleopatra and the pyramids.
Oh, this one always gets people. It really does.
Because you think ancient Egypt, you lump them together, right?
Exactly. Pyramids, Cleopatra, pharaohs, all kind of blend together in the popular imagination. But the time gap is huge.
How huge are we talking?
Well, the Great Pyramid of Giza, built around, say, 2560 BCE, Cleopatra's reign, around 30 BCE.
Wow, so that's over 2,500 years difference.
Massive. The narration had a great comparison. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing.
Then to the building of the Great Pyramid.
Exactly. Mind-bending, isn't it?
It really is. Completely recalibrates my mental timeline. Okay, another timeline twister. Oxford University versus the Aztec Empire.
Yeah, another unexpected one. Which do you think is older?
I'd guess the Aztec Empire feels more ancient somehow.
Most people would. But teaching at Oxford University started way back in 1096 AD.
And 96, okay. And the Aztecs.
Their civilization, centered around Tenochtitlan, really got going around 1325 AD.
So Oxford was already teaching for, like, centuries.
For over 200 years before the Aztec capital was even properly founded.
That's amazing. It really shows the incredible history behind some institutions we still have.
It does. Puts things in perspective.
Right, last factoid. This one tackles a very, very popular image. Viking helmets.
Ah, yes. The horn.
They had horns, right. Big pointy ones.
Well, iconic, yes. Historically accurate, not so much.
Really, no horned helmets.
The narration is pretty clear. There's basically no real historical or archaeological evidence that Viking warriors wore horned helmets into battle.
So where did that image come from?
It seems to have mostly come from the 19th century. Specifically, costume designs for Wagner's operas, like the Ring Cycle.
Opera costumes, not actual Viking gear.
Apparently so. It was a dramatic, romanticized look that just sort of stuck, became the stereotype.
Wow. So much for the history books, huh? Or at least the popular version of them.
Exactly. It shows how easily inaccuracies can take root and become common knowledge.
Need to fact check those Halloween costumes then.
Probably a good idea. It really drives home why it's important to question things, look at the actual evidence when you can.
History is often way more surprising than the myths.
Much more nuanced, yeah.
Yeah.
And full of these unexpected details.
Well, this has been a really fantastic journey diving into these mysteries and facts.
It has.
It really hammers home that history isn't some settled, dusty thing. It's alive with questions, with puzzles.
And full of surprises that can change how you see things.
Definitely.
And maybe, for everyone listening, it makes you think, what else is out there? How many other secrets are hidden in plain sight?
Or buried in archives somewhere.
Exactly. What other historical truths that we all accept might actually be, well, wrong or incomplete? What other amazing stories haven't been told yet?
That is a great thought to end on. Plenty more to uncover, I'm sure.
Always.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope it sparked your own curiosity to keep exploring the often weird and wonderful world of the past.